Hello everyone, welcome back to AI Vidya. Today we will continue with the Matplotlib library to study about data plotting on most common type of real world data, such as that is time series data. In the last part, we have seen the basic data plotting using Matplotlib, such as data plotting of simple points on coronavirus on corona data. Now in this lecture, we are going to cover about the time series data plotting on air quality data. We have a lot to cover in this video. So let's begin with a brief overview of what is time series data and what is its use. Time series data is a data that varies with time and date. The time series data is often used in various real world projects such as stock market prediction, pollution, variation of pollutants in a city over a time or a period. The most common way to plot time series data that is to use line plots. The line plots are those plots where the data is indexed on x and y axis depending on whatever it is a date or it is a value. When the data is a value, then it is indexed on the y-axis. When the data is a date, then it is indexed on the x-axis. The time series data is a data whose values are the function of time. Data collection depends over the time. For this code, we will study about the data set of air quality data in India that is collected from a period of 2015 to 2020. Now let's begin with a brief overview. What is this dataset? This dataset contains concentration of various air pollutants at hourly and daily level on various stations across multiple cities in India. These cities may be Ahmedabad, Delhi, Bangalore, etc. The concentration is measured in ppm, that is parts per milli. So let's begin with our coding part. At first, we are going to load the required library. So I'm going to load three libraries, that is Pandas, NumPy and Matplotlib. These are as follows. I'll run this code. Now, in the next part, we are going to load our CSV dataset. Here, we are going to see how this dataset contains what are the values in the dataset. So I'll run this code and show you the first two rows of the data. So it is showing that the name of the city, the date on which it is recorded, concentration of ppm, particulate matter, and then the NO and concentration of NO2 and NOx, nitrogen, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, ozone, benzene, toluene, xylene, air quality index and air quality index bucket. Now we are going to create a list of pollutants which we are needed for this plot. So we are going to take the most important pollutants that highly affects the air quality, that highly affects and that highly makes the air as a pollution. Now these are the various pollutants we are going to use in this list. So I have created this list and just show you the output of printing the list. Now in the next part, we are first going to perform our time series data analysis on the city Ahmedabad. So we are going to create a new data frame as Ahmedabad and take these values from the previous dataset that contains the city as Ahmedabad. I'll show you the first 10 rows. Here in this output you can see that some of the values are mentioned to be as NaN, which means that not a number. In the real world time, the data often recorded may contain missing values. So NaN basically represent those missing values, which means that the recording period is not done for this time in the city of Ahmedabad. Now, after that, since we are going to perform this data on the date time, so at first we are going to convert date from object type to standard date time format using two date time function of pandas. So I have created this code. Now I'm going to print the shape of this data frame named Ahmedabad. So as I told you, we are going to perform only certain elements, certain pollutants analysis in this code. So I'll remove the other columns which are not needed for this purpose. So I've created this list of columns which are need to be removed from the Ahmedabad data frame. Now we are going to drop these column names which we have created in the above list using the drop function. The drop function has been done as follows. Here we pass the list of columns which are need to be dropped, and the next part is axis. So axis basically contains the two values, that is 0 or 1. When the axis value is taken to be 0, this means we are referring to the rows. We are going to perform deletion or updation on a row, and when this value is 1, we are going to deal with columns. So here we need to remove the column, so we are taking the axis value as 1. After that we are going to sort our data using the date time order. So we are going to use sort values and we pass the column name as date. We have studied this function in the pandas introduction. Now we are going to show you the code. I am going to show you the code and the output of showing first 5 rows after sorting. So this is the output. Here we are dealing with date and time. So we are going to create our new index as date. Initially, the indexing by default in the data frame is done on the basis of row order number. So we are going to reset this index and set the new index as a date column. So for this purpose, we are going to use reset index function. The reset index function resets this row number ordering index, and then using set index function, we are going to set index as date. So I have done this using this code. I am printing the index as Ahmedabad.index. Now I'll show you the difference in the output. With this line of output, before the resetting is done, you can see that the indexing is 64-bit index, and after that resetting the index to date, we can see that the date time index has been done here. So you can see the difference in both the outputs. We are going to use the date time index in data plotting. Now we are going to take the most important cause of air pollution, that is most important pollutant, that is nitrogen oxide. We are going to create a new data frame named NO to take all those values that are having NO as a pollutant. So I have created this data frame. After that, using the show function, we are going to show these values and show the plot. So you can see this plot, it has a missing values. These spaces in the plot shows that the plot has some missing values. Those values have been displayed using NaN. We have seen in the initial part that is not a number, that is those values are not recorded on that time. The plot is very tricky, so we are going to resample our data on weekly basis and plot it. So considering the pollutant NO, how we are going to perform this resampling? We are going to use resample function. This resample function, we can take the value on the weekly basis. So here we are going to take 2 week values and we are going to take the average of that value and then plot it. This will make our plot more simpler and readable. Now we are going to use show function to plot the values on the weekly basis. So this plot is, you can see it is more clearer and more easy to understand. Now we need to remove these null values so that we can get a more accurate plot. For this, we are going to take overall mean of whole column value and replace all the nan values with the column mean. For this, we are going to have some simple coding. At first, for every column, we are going to take average of that column using mean function. After that, we are going to replace every nan value with that mean. For this purpose, we are going to use the numpy property, that is nan. This property is used to find every value with nan in the whole data set, and after that it will replace with the mean. Now we are again performing the same plotting after doing this pre-processing on the data. You can see the plot comes to be continuous, and you can see this plot is continuous and it's constant at this place because we have replaced every value with the mean. So this plot is constant here, and we can also done this resampling on the weekly basis after removal of all non values and plot it. So we are going to plot, and we can also see that this is a constant because we have replaced area of this portion and area of this portion with the mean of that column value. Now We have reached to the end of this video. We have got the basic idea of time series data plotting using Matplotlib. In the next video, we are going to study about machine learning algorithms such as classification algorithms and regression algorithms. So if you like my video, then please like it, share it and subscribe to my channel. If you have any query, then please drop your query in the comment section. I will definitely answer them. Till then, thank you.